Hey, welcome to the Art Cloud, where we learn how to draw our own characters and the world around them. This is episode 10, and in this episode, I am finishing this design sheet for my character Aris. I want to do the line art for Aris, just like I did for Pumari, and just really finalize his design. So I have this sketch here, and I actually want to show how I even got to this point because Aris did not look like this a year ago or so. And I think every artist loves drawing their original characters. And for me, that's the most fun part about drawing, is drawing my own characters. And so it's very cool to see the progression I've made in his design. And I just want to talk about how I started from like here. What's that? I forget what month this was in, but it's probably early 2024, maybe like January. But how I got from there all the way to here to this design, and then finally to this one here. It's very fun designing your own characters. I want to be able to have like a bunch of character design sheets for all the characters that are a part of this story. Pumari is like the first one I really enjoy, and I'm glad I finished. I think I will change like the design of his sword, but that's pretty much it. Everything else about him I like. And so now I'm just gonna start drawing Aris. So before I just start, I want to show you the design I had beforehand. So these are all the iterations I did, not including the older ones, right? So here are some of the older designs. This is the old one, this is the old one, and then this is the old one as well. And so I'm going to talk about how I got to this point. And actually, let me pull up my reference for this so I can show you. I'll just use pure ref for my reference. And here's the design board I used for Aris. I wanted to make sure he looked like he was from a desert kind of a country. Almost like a Middle Eastern, but kind of inspired by African textures and stuff like that, but with some fantasy elements. And so this first design here is inspired by like these robes and really baggy clothing. Like I said, I wanted him to feel like a warrior, so he has like this big sword on his back, some scars on his arm. In the second iteration, I go and I try to mess with like some type of armor. I'm also thinking about the silhouette of the character to make him recognizable. Like if I put Pumari and Aris next to each other, you should be able to tell which character is which, just based off their silhouette. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I'm designing the characters in these sketches. And the third iteration, I got rid of like this robe around his waist and just gave him pants and armor on both shoulders. So it implies that he's still a warrior, but I felt that was a little too much for this design. Then I tried the same thing with more accessories, some type of scarf, but I felt like it got in the way of his hair, and there was probably a little too much detail. And he's not the type of character that I want wearing a full set of armor. I really want to emphasize that he's from a desert oasis kind of a country. And so while this looks cool, it's not what I was going for. In this design, I put the sword on the side of his hip right here. But I do like the way the great sword looked. I also gave him a cape in this design. So after that, I just got this design where he has armor on one side of his body, on his right shoulder, and if anything, it's more ceremonial than it is protective. It kind of just looks cool, and it probably doesn't protect his arm from a lot, but I like the design here. I implemented this reference here. He is a prince of a kingdom, so I want him to look regal and royal, and I think this was the best way to approach that. And so after I got done with all those iterations, I finally got something that I really enjoyed. I finally got a silhouette that I thought was pretty good. And so after all those iterations, I came up with this final design where I have more, pretty much the same thing, but the patterns in his clothing are more defined. He has some down here at the bottom of his robe, kind of a thing. He's got sandals to clearly like imply that he's from maybe a dry place. And I really want him to stand out when he's next to Pumari and make it feel like they're from different places. And so you can tell Pumari has a certain kind of a mood to him, and Aris does as well. And so what I'm going to start doing now is the line art for this character and the color for him. I might have time to do the rest of these, like put the rest of these what they call emotions or faces on this canvas, but if not, it is what it is. My main purpose, my main goal is to finish this design with line art and color. And so if I don't get to the sketches in my sketchbook, this is just a photo from my sketchbook. It's all right. The main thing is just that final design and color. And eventually I will implement the poses here from my sketchbook, which were really fun. But yeah, just enjoy the process of creating your own character. Whatever story you're telling, do it to the best of your ability with the characters that you draw. And I didn't want to settle for this design here because I felt like I could do a lot better of a job. And so that's why I had to redesign them, because that one was not cutting it. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started. I'm really enjoying this process. Just gotta find the layer it's on. I'll put him in the middle. Move everything else to the right. That. Yep, cool. I like to separate everything into folders so that easier to draw over the top of. So I'm going to separate this to its own folder. This is where I'll do all my line art and stuff. And I'm actually going to have this character design sheet up as well while I draw this to make sure it matches the style that I'm going for. Because I haven't done a piece of line art in a minute. I'm drawing it pretty thin, so I want to match that energy in my line art for Aris. I might turn the stabilization on a little bit. Stabilization just helps you draw cleaner lines, which is good. What really helped me in designing my own characters was this video by FZD School on YouTube. It's called Design Cinema, episode 112, targeting your portfolio. In that, he talks about how you can use this rule called the 90-10 rule to design characters in a world that you're drawing. And basically, the rule is 90% of the world that you draw and create should be based off of a real life place instead of a fantastical fictional place. It's a lot easier to create a world, to draw a world using reference that already exists instead of trying to create things from imagination. 90%, like I said, would be from the real world. I'll make this line smaller. But yeah, 90% of the design you create should be from the real world. And then that 10% will be your story injection, of what your story is about. And so for my story, 90% of the information about this story is based on the real world, and specifically it is based on a medieval European setting. And then my 10% story injection would be about this evil power that this character is fighting against. So let me pull up that little, right here. Let me pull this up and read it to you. So this is my 10% story injection. A power called tripping over my words. A power called Chaos has corrupted the world, and nations are using this power to wage war and fight for magical supremacy. It is up to Aris and his siblings to destroy the chaos. So that's what this story is about. It takes place in a medieval fantasy world, and it's that simple. That's really clarified like the design process for me for like creating fictional worlds, because I used to always try to create worlds just from my imagination instead of the world that we live in like history. And it's so much easier to gather reference from real life places than it is to try and make things up. But definitely go and watch that video for yourself. Even if it's more aimed for people who want to do concept art professionally. But if you like drawing your own characters, maybe you like drawing comics, I think that'll really help you build the world that you're trying to create and draw that world. I just want to make sure my line thickness is the same as this one. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, this one's a little bit thinner. I think it'll be all right. I probably should have went a little bit thinner on my lines. Still can. The rest of this. Yeah, I just want to make sure that these two characters look like they're in the same style. So I'm going to draw with a thinner line weight from now on. I thought that first, I thought the 5 was good, but make it a little bit more smaller and go from there. Yeah, that video really helped me understand how to build worlds. So just want to make sure if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out, watch it. This is the title of the video. I just took a screenshot so you can see it. But it helped me think a lot about how to build this world of characters from scratch, and the 90-10 rule really helps out. What's fun about drawing your own characters is just so satisfying seeing them become something, and become something finished. It'll be very cool to see them in a graphic novel format, because I did create that my comic, The Tale of Pumari, but I feel like I can do better as far as storytelling goes. So it's going to be fun just to continue to draw these characters, because when I'm not working on something finished, I'll do stuff like this in my digital sketchbook. Just little interactions between characters like this, so you can read this. Stuff like this, just stuff that makes you laugh, stuff that you enjoy doing, and characters interacting in comics. I love doing this type of stuff in my sketchbook. And so the first speech bubble is Pumari, and the second and third is Aris, and then that fourth one over here on the right is Pumari. So stuff like this is fun to do, and creating something finished in a comic book format will be very satisfying, very fun to see. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, let me know. Because I definitely want to be able to create physical books for these characters in a comic book format. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know. I think this story will be pretty entertaining. What's fun about this character in particular, he's the main character, but unlike the other characters I'm going to design, who use this magical power called chaos, he is from a country that does not use chaos, and so the interactions between other characters are going to be really fun. Even though he doesn't have the power to use that magical ability called chaos, he is a force to be reckoned with. Nice, looking good. Let's turn that off. Nice, looking good. Fill this in with black. Nice. When I figure out how to live stream this, I'm gonna start live streaming this. That'd be fun. I gotta figure out how to do that. Start drawing live, hanging out with people. Yo, I thought I was good at painting, but I'm actually not that good. At least not yet. I found some old, not old. I found some paint sitting around in my closet in my room that I got some years ago, and I finally sat down and used them the other day, and I realized how hard traditional painting actually is. The hardest part about it is actually mixing your colors and then using your brushes to create forms that actually look like the stuff you're trying to create. Or just create good looking shapes. I attempted to paint a self-portrait, but it turned out all right. Like I said, the hardest part about painting traditionally is mixing your colors, and I'm not that good at that right now. It was fun, but not what I expected I could do. Digital art, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but like digital painting in general makes it a lot easier for you to skip over fundamentals like that. I feel like that's a fundamental in painting is probably mixing your colors. And I have no idea how to mix my colors. I know the three primary colors are red, yellow, blue, but after that, I have no idea how to get the color I want. And I was trying to paint in a more realistic style, but did not turn out like that. It turned out a little bit more abstract. So it is what it is. But I did notice how much easier and forgiving digital painting is. You have so much like undos and undo, redo, just the different tools you have digitally. And that's why I do want to learn how to paint traditionally, just to help me paint traditionally without all the shortcuts. Because if I could figure out how to paint on a canvas, I feel like I'll have a lot easier of a time drawing on a tablet, drawing and painting. Because it was good at first. My my initial sketch for it was all right, but after that it went downhill fast. It went downhill real fast. Does that make sense? Not really. Like lines going beneath the dreadlock or over the top of it. Kind of looks cool, but it doesn't really make any sense. Keep it for now, and when I add color, if it doesn't make sense, I'll delete it. But for now, it's all right. Fill that in. Nice. This armor was the most challenging thing to draw, but it was worth it. Yeah, I'm still messing with my brushes, like the settings. I'll just use this one. Like I'm making custom brushes for myself, but at the same time, they're not all that good yet. I haven't used them enough. to get more of a custom feel. I think I might want to add like a texture to the G pen. Make it look a little bit more traditional. That'd be fun. But overall, I really like this character design. I think it's a lot better than it used to be. And this eye is getting on my nerves now. The more I look at it, the more it doesn't look right to me, so I'm just going to erase it. There we go. Alright. Nice. Go ahead and save it before I lose everything. Alright, nice, it's saved. It's going to be really cool to see Umari and Aris standing next to each other with their final designs. It's very interesting to see how much better I've gotten over the years. I remember drawing Umari and Aris a long time ago. And so just to see them fully realized and at a point that I really like, it's very fun. One thing I had to get over with, or yeah, just one thing I had to stop worrying about with my drawings was trying to make everything, or try to know how everything works. I don't need to know how every piece of equipment works, as long as it looks like it works, and that's enough for me. I don't need to spend so much time trying to draw it so accurately that it's kind of like too much detail. I'm going for a simplified style and inspired by manga. You need to know how literally every detail works, like the belt buckles and stuff like that. As long as it looks good, as long as it looks kind of accurate, it's fine. I don't even know literally every piece of metal or accessory works. Just make sure it looks like it works. And so that's one thing I have to get over, especially in my character designs. It's different for like vehicles maybe and animals, but I think simplification is the best way to do it, especially if you want to put these characters in a graphic novel or something, comic book. Just simplifies everything. Keep it simple. Add that little piece of metal here. This. All right. Look, that looks good. That's fine. I don't like to use a lot of stabilization when I ink my drawings, but just enough so that I can get some good straight lines. Because if it's at 100, then it's kind of it's too stabilized. So I like to keep it at like 10, 15. That's like perfect for me. I wanted this design to be simple, but not too complicated. That way I could draw this over and over again. I think this is the perfect amount of details. And before, with his old design, I don't think it was the right amount of details. So this is just a lot better. I really like drawing cloth and stuff. That kind of drapes down like this. Really cool. Nice. All right. I imagine that this shoulder guard has like the emblem of his nation on it. So that's what this is. From the front, it would be like a diamond shape like this. That's right here. We're just looking at it from the side. Very cool. It's the same thing with folds too. You don't need to know exactly how they work. As long as you can simplify them, you should be good. Just know how, just like know the basics of how folds contort and stretch. You'll be good. This is like some type of ceremonial robe or something. I'm feeling like, because, or like some type of cloth that he wears. Not sure what you would call it though. Or maybe it's not ceremonial. Maybe it's just what he likes wearing. Almost done. Looking good. Try not to control Z a lot. Just gotta be confident in the line that I create. That way I can ink a little bit faster. I will add the pattern in the cloth after the initial line art. That's one cool thing about digital art is you can use layers. And that's probably why I had such a hard time painting in gouache for the first time. I'm so used to like using layers digitally. It's hard to think of how to like layer paint on a canvas. Or actually I was using Bristol boards, so more like wash sketches than a full painting. But either way, it was still hard. Even though I'm not that good at painting, doing paintings digitally and traditionally are helping me understand color. So that's fun. Yeah, why not? Make this area all black. Nice. I'm doing this pretty fast. It took me about 40 minutes so far. Not bad. Hey, let me know in the comments what your story is for your original characters. What is it about? Are you creating comics for them or just illustrations? What you doing? What you got going on with your characters? I feel like drawing characters. That's I guess for character illustrators. The funnest part is probably drawing our own characters. I've been drawing my own characters for forever. When I was little, I didn't really do a lot of fan art stuff. I don't remember doing a lot of fan art. It was really just me like creating my own worlds, my own characters, my own little comics. I don't remember drawing any fan art that much. I've always loved drawing my own characters, so it's very fun. I should add more line variation up here, or line thickness up here. Maybe not. It should be fine in the face. Should be fine. All right. trying to get out the habit of using Control Z a lot. Be confident in my line. If I was drawing on paper, I would not be able to undo anything, so sometimes you just gotta let the line do what it do. They do what it do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just counting the toes. Make sure he's got enough toes. And that's pretty much it for the line art. Just got to draw the sword. And that should be it. Yep. For this one, I am actually going to use the stabilization on like 100%. Just so I can draw straight lines really easy. Be a sword sheath. I think that's what it's called, a sheath. For your sword. Nice. All right. Cool. Nice. All right, now I'm gonna go on top of that. Make sure everything is good. Turn off that layer. I can add more shading down here. Area. Here. And that should be good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and sometimes turning the canvas makes it a lot easier to draw stuff too, so. All right. Yeah, everything looks good. I'm going to add that design now. And I do it on a separate layer so that I can make it a different color later. I want to. Just make sure it follows the form, the shape. Yep. And the diamond shapes. Fill those in. Same thing. Diamond shapes. fill those in. Nice. Later on, when I go into the color, I can change the color, maybe lower the opacity on it. But for now, that's fine. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here, and the line work will be done. All right. I forgot to do this side, but yeah, I'm gonna finish this character design, add the color, and I'll show you what Aris looks like standing right next to Umari over here. So I'll be right back. Alright, so this is a finished design for Aris. Alongside Pumari, this will be my character lineup sheet. And it's really fun seeing these two characters together side by side and this story unfold through their character design. One thing though that I don't like about Aris' design, even though I just got finished designing him, is this robe at the bottom. I think his design would be a little bit better without that. And maybe just keep this one on his right shoulder. But other than that, I like it, and I'm happy with how it came out. So let me know what you think about this design and these two characters. And I really enjoy their silhouettes and how much different they are from each other. You can definitely tell that these are two different characters, and I really like that. I think I could improve Aris' silhouette just by getting rid of the robe on the bottom. But other than that, I really like it. You can definitely tell that these two characters are from two different places, and they definitely have like two different kinds of histories maybe. So their history is different, their clothing is different, and even their culture is probably different just based on how they look and what they wear. So yeah, I'm happy with how these came out. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.